This is the Big Island, Channel 6, Hawaii at its best.
This is Weekly Highlights coming to you from the Kona Imin Center right here in Holualoa, where at this point in the show we bring in Reed Flickinger. Tonight his guest is Albert Lono Lyman, Planning Director for the County of Hawaii, and together they'll be discussing West Hawaii's future economic growth on Issues and Insights.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Issues and Insights. I'm Reed Flickinger, your host and moderator. Tonight we have with us Mr. Albert Lono Lyman, who is the Planning Director for the County of Hawaii. Very soon the public will have a chance to comment on the draft general plan update. This is a document which basically is a planning ordinance or a law which takes a long-range look at where developments will be, land use classifications. Basically, it's a rough draft of what can happen and where in terms of growth and development in the next 10 or 15 years. Mr. Lyman, in terms of the growth that is being reflected in this general plan update and in the land use maps that go along with it, are these areas of growth primarily in East Hawaii, West Hawaii?
They're primarily in West Hawaii and primarily between the Kaupulehu Resort and Kailua Kona. There are some others both in North Kohala and Ka'u District as well as in East Hawaii.
Okay, now I should note that we have the verbal text of the general plan document as proposed by the Planning Department and the current administration. The maps that I referred to are still in the draft stage now and will be presented to the public in a preliminary form very soon. Is that correct?
Well, they'll be presented to the public as a part of the general plan review, which started on July 21st, and they will show the suggestions without any recommendation.
Okay, in terms of the documents, and when I say documents, I mean the maps and the verbal text, as they exist now, these planning documents are merely proposals of how your department feels the planning direction should go, and they are not cast in stone as yet?
Well, they aren't cast in stone, but what they do reflect is instead suggestions that have come from the public as well as landowners and developers.
All right, will there be more input from the public, and will there be change to these documents before they become enacted as law and take effect?
We are expecting more changes that would come from the various stages of the public review as well as public hearings that would be conducted by the Planning Commission and by the Council.
Okay, the verbal text as it exists now is more or less a very rough outline. It talks about agricultural needs, visitor industry, it talks about population growth. Is there a more specific side of the general plan that people can look at and see just by looking at it what is intended to go where, what may go in a certain position?
As far as the more specific what may go where, the recommendations will be fleshed out as part of the public review process, and they will be set forth in what goes to the Planning Commission.
Okay, now which goes to the Planning Commission, will that be in the form of a verbal text? Will it be maps, or will it be a combination of the two?
It would be a combination of the two.
Okay, now for your average person to say who has a piece of land and is wondering what the county foresees might take place in the area of his immediate property holding, where would that most easily be seen? In the maps or in the document? Or
for a property owner, it would be most easily seen in the maps. For someone who wants to see what might be happening to the district that they live in, it would be gleaned from looking at the text and the revisions to the text.
Okay, in terms of the coastal area where there are a number of resorts planned, you have applications from developers, and these are multi-million-dollar resorts, and yet the areas that now exists is not specifically referred to in the text, and the present land use maps indicate that primarily the areas that have been suggested for development are classified as open or conservation classifications, which do not include resort development. Does the fact that the developers have come forth with that proposal to develop there bear much weight in future land use planning for the area?
Well, it bears some weight in that we're giving consideration to 8 new resort proposals that have been advanced by developers, as well as half a dozen proposals for new communities advanced by developers, and 3 areas that the county is advancing that are comprised of state-owned lands.
Okay, now are these 8 resort developments going to be developed as individual, separate microcosms, or will they be somehow incorporated together in a similar form to Ka'anapali Beach in Maui?
Well, I think it would be comparable to a string of Ka'anapali Beach resorts if they are indeed all approved through the general plan and subsequent zoning process and developed.
Okay, why don't we go over to the map and take a look at where some of these developments are planned, and if you can give us a rundown of where they stand at this time. Okay. Coming over to the map, Mr. Lyman, can you show us first what the colors represent, and then give us a quick rundown of what some of these projects are?
Well, the key to the colors is shown down here. There are various classifications, and what they represent are proposals as well as the existing general plan map.
Okay, so these light green areas then are conservation land, and these blue areas would represent basically agricultural lands?
Light green areas are one of the 2 classifications of conservation land, and the blue areas are also one of the classifications of agricultural lands.
Okay, can you give us a quick rundown of some of the resort projects that are on tap here for the coastal area?
Beginning with North Kohala, Mahukona Properties is actually right now before the County Council for consideration of a general plan amendment, which was processed beginning in the earlier part of the 1980s.
What about some of the newer ones that are just now beginning to appear on the planning horizon?
Well, those are principally between Kaupulehu and Koloka Honokahau. They include the Hui Hui Ranch Kukio project, the Kahala Capital Corporation Avakea project, Bishop Estates Makalavena, Mahi'ula, which is owned by the Magoons, and just south of the host park, 2 projects, Kohana Iki and Oomatu.
Okay, now these projects are moving into advanced stages of planning in terms of classification efforts to reclassify the land with the State Land Use Commission, and also have these gone before the County Planning Department for general plan amendments. Is that pretty much how these stand at this point?
Well, they're in various stages of both, in that some are already before the Land Use Commission, and some have already initiated the measures that they have to proceed with general plan amendments, which are being proceeded with outside the review process, and that they require environmental impact statements and have a different procedure associated with them.
Okay, moving down from Kailua here, do we have any other developments that are planned for resort projects?
Well, there are various developments just south of Keho Resort. There's a proposal from Kealakekua Ranch at Captain Cook. There's Farms of Kapua, which is in for general plan review consideration, and there are 2 resort proposals in Ka'u.
I see. In terms of the plans that we've got here, which of those now is basically the farthest along in the planning process?
Well, with respect to the State Land Use Commission, the Kukio project, which is located just south of Kaupulehu, and the Kona Beach Development Venture, also known as Kohana Iki, are proceeding with the State Land Use Commission reviews.
We're almost out of time. I'd like to note just for the public that these matters presented tonight will be before the public for testimony at the county and state level in the weeks and months ahead. Is that correct?
That's correct, Reed.
Okay. Thank you very much for being with us tonight, and we look forward to talking with you again next week about the general plan update.
Thank you.
And we'd like to thank you for being with us tonight here on Issues and Insights, and encourage you to write to us at Box 715, Kealakekua, Hawaii, 96750. And in the weeks ahead, we may share with our viewers your input on tonight's subject. Thank you very much, and good night.
Studio facilities for Issues and Insights have been provided by the Kona Surf Resort, which features Orchid-class service. That was part 1 of a 2-part discussion with Albert Lyman. Part 2 will air next week. And if you have any thoughts on the subject, we'd like to hear from you. Write to us here at Channel 6. We'll bring you that address once more in just a moment. But first, our community billboard. The second annual Chuck Machado Light Tackle Tournament is set for August the 1st through the 3rd right here in Kona. The event will run from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. each day, and if you'd like to participate, call 329-1965. Alpha Delta Kappa will be holding a fundraiser on August the 2nd, 9 a.m. in the Kailua McDonald's parking lot. All proceeds will go towards a future scholarship fund for a Kona Waina student. Call 323-3072. The Rotary Club of Kona will present the typical Tacky Tourist Treasure Hunt Rally on August the 2nd, 5 p.m. at the Old Airport. There will be several team prizes for the best Tacky Tourist costume. Call 322-6866. The Kamoela Bonsai Club invites you to their annual plant show at the Kamoela Community Center on August the 2nd, 10 a.m. Dial 325-7554 for more details. The first annual Kona Billfish Arts Festival will be showing at the Hotel Kinkamehameha August the 4th through the 8th, beginning at 9 a.m. The show will feature some of Kona's finest artists, and all proceeds will go towards local charities. Call 885-7047. And Hobie Sports presents the second annual Oliver Kabang Memorial Pine Trees Longboard Contest on August the 9th at 9 a.m. Surfboards can be no shorter than 9 feet in length. Trophies and prizes will be awarded. Call 329-1001. If you would like to have your event posted on our billboard, we ask that you give us all the details about 3 weeks in advance and just send it in to Community Billboard, Box 715, Kealakekua, Hawaii, 96750. And keep that address handy if you want to respond to issues and insights. So that'll close things up for this evening's program. Again, look for us next Wednesday night, 6:30 to 9:30 p.m., when we bring you a new edition of Weekly Highlights. Until then, I'm Lyman Medeiros. Thanks a lot for watching, and good night.
Only